Well, hi, everybody. David Cross back with you again, and this time with audio. I wanted to put that first video out to show you in a perfect world that this new PowerShell module I'm working on has an installer, and it does work well if you're an administrator and does what it needs to do. However, in most cases, if you're working on a domain controller or a corporate asset, which is typically where you might access IP control, you're not going to have that access. You may not have that access. So what I want to do here is create a couple of videos to go back through the installation again, the manual way, and show you what some of the examples or errors might be, and quickly how to do this so that you can get up and running. And then what I'll do in the series of videos is I'll either break it out by categorical um, groupings of APIs, such as importing or getting or exporting and deleting, or I may just walk through each one individually, record it, put it out. So keep your eye out for what you're looking for, and I'll go through that list. So first of all, I do have a GitHub site and a repository that I'll update these videos for. I'm just about a week or two away from releasing this, so I do hope that this will be available and that you can quickly use Git as an option if you're using Windows and Git in that process. And just to show you some of the errors that if you're a typical user, if you're not part of the administrative group, it's going to try to go out and install and create this directory structure, which is one of the default module loading directories for the users. And it's going to, of course, give us the option here that we can either log in as administrator and or run this and fail it. So we're going to not do this because I don't have administrative access. So what I'm going to show here then is that we're going to need to do this manually. So the first thing you need to do is under your documents directory on this PC, that should be your user directory, is you're going to create a couple folders. So the first is we're going to create Windows PowerShell. Open that, and then we're going to create modules. And then we'll create, and this needs to be exact IPControl.Version9, which is the name of this module. Don't ask me why, but that's just what I had and what I stuck with. And then I'm going to copy these files off my desktop and place them into this folder. Okay, so what I hope that will happen here is when I open up Windows PowerShell as this user, it's going to try to load this module, and I hope it works well with this permission. If not, I'm going to need to back up and see what we do. So I'm running Windows ISE, which I've pinned to my desktop here, but if you're not using that or if you're not familiar with it, just do a search for PowerShell, and it'll show you the different options. I have PowerShell Core here as well, but I use ISE because it has a script panel for me that I can use. So launching this, hopefully in the loading of this and imports, you'll see that it takes a little bit of time, and I hope that it'll find my IPControl.Version9 module. Now, these are all the exported functions from that module, and it will, of course, be expanded on as I import and create new methods. All right. So the first thing is, I guess, to note is this isn't really noted, it's just imported the methods. So to use this the very first time, we need to go out and load it. So doing a refresh when you select one of these, specifically the get IPC token, what we need to do is we need to basically initialize this API application wrapper. And it does that by using the get IPC token to log in to confirm that you can. So you'll need to have your IP control instance and a login that gives you access through the CLI and also through the web UI. Okay. Now, the first time you run this, it won't have your password for this. So we're going to encrypt it and we're going to store this so that we can use it in later calls without having to put this onto the command line. And then what we expect to see here then is an object output to the screen, write output to show you the access token, the bearer, and the time. And for reference, we use JWT as a way of authenticating the headers. So this token then is inserted into each of the header files or each of the headers of the API calls using the authorization bearer. Okay, so this is a non-privileged user able to do this, and that's what I wanted to test. And just to make sure that we can do something else, let's do a real quick check on the get IP address, which we should still be able to see as well. And I'm just going to run that as is. And very good. So we can automatically get in here and get the address, and that's what I wanted to see. So there you go. That's the simple way to install this. Now, if you're running this on a corporate asset, or if they've locked down other permissions in terms of what's required to run this, you may see an error here, and it may point you to a specific URL link from Microsoft that talks about remote sign privileges and access. So you'll need to kind of follow that, and I'm not going to go through all of that because you may have too many different security settings. But just so you're aware, if you follow that link and follow the settings to it, it will actually resolve it, and you can then import and run the module. So great, that's our start, and I'm going to come back with a couple of videos here this morning and hopefully get you up to speed on some capabilities. Great, thank you very much, and talk to you soon.